love to have a discussion about this is, do you really want corporations to police what's true and not true?
Absolutely not.
That's a really, really tough position.
But you guys do that.
We try not to do that. We don't want to do that.
But you do in your rules. Whether you justify it or not is not the point. The point is you do. You do have this rule. That rule is at odds with conservatives, period.
But the places that we focus on is where we think that people are going to be harmed by this in a direct and tangible way that we feel a responsibility to correct.
When
not
you
correct
say
ourselves.
in your rules, Tim, what do you mean by that? Like,
dead naming and misgendering.
Dead naming and misgendering.
Yeah. That's a specific ideology that's unique to a very small faction of people in this world that you guys actually ban people for.
Yesterday, Twitter shut down his account, and they did not explain why.
Twitter kicked me off the platform because I was a mainstream voice on the right that spoke the truth, Tucker, and that's all anybody knows. They've given me no explanation.
So shadow banning can be done a couple of different ways on Twitter, at least the allegations go. One of the allegations is that if you tweet something, that it just doesn't show up in people's feed, that even if they're following you, it doesn't show up in their feed because Twitter has essentially downgraded the content that you're tweeting about.
If Meghan Murphy, who is, for those that don't know, she's a radical feminist who refuses to use the transgender pronouns, if she's in an argument with a trans person over whether or not they should be allowed in sports or in biologically female spaces, and she refuses to use their pronoun because of her ideology, you'll ban them.
Not banned permanently. Like, you get warnings.
Well, she was banned permanently.
You have an argument between two people.
Again,
and you have a rule that enforces only one side of the ideology, and you've banned only one of those people.
We have a rule that attempts to address what we have perceived to be instances of abuse and harassment.
And even Jack Dorsey, the head of Twitter, he's acknowledged as much. He says, like, I understand why you guys don't trust me. We're going to have to do better. Well, the only way they're going to do better is if they come fully clean with the American people on how exactly they operate.
And then even the editor-in-chief of the Daily Caller got a suspension for tweeting "Learn to Code" at the Daily Show. If the narrative goes far and wide amongst your circles, then all of a sudden you're seeing high-profile conservatives tweeting a joke getting suspensions.
So it wasn't about just the Learn to Code. It was about the context that we were seeing.
Come on, that's just not true. That's just not true. The editor-in-chief of the Daily Caller was suspended for tweeting nothing but #Learn to Code.
So, Tim, can I finish what I was saying?
Okay, so the rule is you can't offend anyone, all right? Let's say you're speaking to one person. I can't offend you. All right, fair enough. What if I'm speaking to 10 people? Do I get to offend 1 in 10? You can't say anything about anything important ever without offending probably the person you're talking to. Important speech about important issues, especially contentious issues, is instantly offensive.
So even if you are saying, well, hate speech is our rule and a lot of people agree with it, if at any point one person disagrees, there's still an American who has a right to this, to access to the public discourse. And you've essentially monopolized that, and not completely, but for the most part.
This seems like a good example of an ideologically based rule.
Political f***ing message right here. Look at that. That's just beautiful, isn't it?
We're coming towards a position where people think some ideas are better than others, therefore, as a company, we're going to restrict access to certain information.